Crime surging in New York City with shootings up 205% after the NYPD disbanded the anti-crime unit and defunded, too. Now, our Independence Day weekend, dozens more people were shot. Here to react is on the latest violence, former NYPD Commissioner himself, Bernie Kerik. Bernie, you shouldn't be surprised by this, but it doesn't stop you from being horrified.
No, honestly, Brian, I predicted this would be one of the worst days probably in the last few decades, the worst weekends. We had 41 shot, 6 dead in New York. But there's something else going on in New York City. You know, if you look at Twitter, the borough commander from Manhattan South calling out the district attorney Vance, where are you? The borough commander of Manhattan North, Harlem, Spanish Harlem, Washington Heights, calling out the politicians, where are you? What are you doing? Why aren't you there? And this is the same thing going on all over the country in cities led by Democrats. You had 76 people shot in Chicago, 14 dead, 28 shot in Atlanta, 4 dead, 20 shot in Cleveland, 3 dead. Every one of these cities are led by Democrats. They're villainizing the police. They're victimizing the thugs. And this is what happens when you do that.
I know. What happens is they say, I'm not going in there. I'm not going to go put myself online. And all of a sudden, you're utilizing your sick days or your vacation days, the so-called blue flu. And it could have been worse. There was a marked NYPD vehicle that was shot outside a Bronx station house late Saturday, narrowly missing 2 cops. So it was almost an execution that took place. And when you say for these politicians, where are you? They want them at the crime scene. Hey, Mr. Attorney General, I want you to see the horror that you're presiding over and what you've done with your policies.
Well, these are the same politicians, Brian, that's calling for the defunding of the police. And anybody that lived back in the 80s and 90s, up until Giuliani and I and Bratton and Safer came into office and cleaned up New York, anybody that was there realizes you need more police, more enforcement, aggressive policing, or you're going to have this. And who suffers? People in the black community. That's where these numbers are spiking. They're rising. That's where the people are getting killed. You want to defund the police? You're going to see 10 times more of this over the next several months.
Absolutely. In Portland, they've had 38 straight days of violence and unrest, and they're the closest to disbanding their police. We might have a chance to see this. Now, let me ask something, Commissioner. You have to take orders from a mayor. But at what point, if you're a police commissioner, did you say, I quit, and it's because of him or her?
Well, I got to be honest, Brian. I couldn't work for de Blasio and I said this 2 years ago. But the bottom line is, this morning when I saw those tweets from borough commanders, these are 2-star chiefs in the NYPD that are basically calling out the politicians, saying, do your job. There's too much violence. This is because of you. This goes to the borough president. This goes to the city council president. It's to the mayor. It's to the district attorneys, the DA in New York, the DA in Atlanta. They're the ones, they target cops. They're not targeting the thugs. They're not out there doing their job.
Commissioner, the organized way in which they're doing it from city to city, I'm wondering, whose plan is this? This doesn't seem organic.
No, you know what, Brian? It's not organic. These are radical left-wing Marxist politicians that, honestly, I've said this, if Bill de Blasio was not the mayor, he'd be leading the charge in these protests, in this sort of revolution, if you will. That's the way these people think. Unfortunately for us, he became the mayor. And what does he do? He leads from the front. He's diminished the authority of the police. He's taken their tools away. He's basically destroyed 30 years of progress in New York City. He's destroyed it.
If the governor likes to disassociate himself with anything controversial, not my thing with the nursing homes. I don't know why defunding the police makes us safer. Do something about it. He says he has absolute authority. Every politician that's in office is a Democrat. Why doesn't he crack down on the mayor who he says he despises?
Because it's the party line. It's the Democrat party line. It's the Joe Biden party line. Don't go after these guys. Nobody's going to go after. The governor doesn't have the courage to go after de Blasio. He talks all that garbage. He doesn't have the courage. Otherwise, they would be doing something in New York City, and that goes for the rest of these cities around the country as well.
I always felt like when you got local politics, we kept moving further and further back, but it's not the case anymore. Commissioner Kerik, thanks so much.